This is a right-wing political narrative or story from those who are already enemies of China. So it's not unusual that these sorts of people will find fault with China no matter what China does. Will China's actions expand its influence? Yes, certainly. But remember, the United States could do exactly the same if it was just as generous with its aid and support as China is. China has shared all of its clinical treatment notes, all the experience of doctors and nurses, paramedics, everybody, as to how to identify, how to deal, how we work with it in China. Now it's up to the world to decide if they want to accept some of that or not. At the G20 meeting, they refused to lift sanctions that would allow the supply of medical goods. That's not cooperation. That's not a global approach. And yet, these are the same people who will be the first to use masks made in China when the time becomes necessary. So it's part of an ongoing political narrative that's been there before. They are using COVID as an excuse to push that agenda harder and faster. And it is a concern because when people are frightened, when they're worried, then they're more susceptible to this type of story. The best thing that China can do is to continue what it's doing at the moment, which is being generous in sharing its knowledge, generous in sharing its aid, generous in sharing its information. And yes, this will benefit China, there is no question, because China will be seen as stepping up while others have been stepping down. It's the best that China can do. And that's the key factor. It is open, it is transparent in what is happening in terms of controlling COVID within the China environment and sharing that information with the world scientific and medical community.